You've got ideas, you've got ambition, you've got no time, or so you think. I'm Marissa Lonick, and I help busy moms with big dreams and no time. Join me each week as I dive into time management strategies, goal setting and achieving framework, and inspiring guests who are juggling mom life, work life, fill in the blank life. Dreams don't work unless you do, and just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't still make it happen, whatever it means to you. Welcome to the Mama Work It podcast. Hello, mamas. Welcome back to another episode of the Mama Work It podcast. This episode is very special to me because it is our 30th episode and it is the season 1 finale. Yes, mamas, I am taking a little breather. Don't worry, not too long, but taking a little breather as I focus on some other awesomeness for Mama Work It right now, including our upcoming time management 4-week program where I will be leading an incredible group of moms toward becoming badass time momagers themselves. This program is set to start in a couple weeks on August 23rd, and I cannot wait for everything that is going to come with it and the incredible outcome these mamas are going to experience through this program. This week on the show, I am excited to talk to you about how to manage your side hustle when you're already a working mom. Now, I did this for 3 years, and I was able to build my following to thousands, gain awesome credibility within my audience by providing tons of free content and also writing and publishing 2 books, create multiple courses, one that has helped working parents in over 60 countries and maintains a 4.5 out of 5 rating, and strategize the business's growth and direction, all while adding a 4th baby to our family and maintaining a fairly healthy work-life balance. Was it easy all the time? No, it was not. Was it possible? 1,000% yes, it absolutely was. And after 3 years of doing both, I ultimately made the decision to leave my full-time corporate career and turn my side hustle into my main hustle. And if this is something you are looking to do, this episode will be a total game changer for you. We're going to dive into time management tips to make it happen. We're going to talk about mindset shifts that kept me sane. We're going to discuss the hardship and how I dealt with that. I'm pulling back the curtain here because I want you to know that I've been there, and I want you to see all the possibility that there is for you if your goal is ultimately to become a full-time entrepreneur. And by the way, if that's not your goal and you want to maintain both, that's totally cool too. Some people, especially multi-passionate people, enjoy the juggle of both. So these tips will help you feel more sane when things get a little hectic and ensure your head and your heart are in it to win it. So you don't decide to just walk away when times get tough, which can be very tempting, I know. Now, I want to put a disclaimer out there that when I decided to leave my full-time career, I wasn't doing it from a place of unhappiness or despair. I wasn't doing it because I could no longer handle juggling both worlds. And while for some, that may very well be the catalyst or the reason they decide to take that leap, but it wasn't for me. For me, it was something even bigger. It was a deep-rooted feeling that was nudging me, like annoyingly whining to me that it was indeed time. I couldn't identify anymore with being a corporate mom with a side hustle. It wasn't feeding my soul anymore. I needed to be able to fully step into my business and own that new title, that new self, as my whole self from a professional standpoint. And I couldn't continue to give my best energy to my corporate role because my passion no longer lived there. So, like I said, this was bigger than even I can articulate here. It was ultimately just inevitable that I quit. Was I making my corporate salary in my side hustle at the time? No, I wasn't. And in fact, for a while, That was the excuse I told myself why I couldn't leave my full time career because I needed to see the proof in the pudding. But after so much reflection and prayer, the choice was really no longer mine. I had to just go with it and trust the universe and God were leading me toward the right path for me. And I tell you this because I think a decision as big as leaving your full time career shouldn't be made quickly or irrationally or even emotionally or even totally practically. Although those are usually pretty easy to go with, especially if you're analytical like me. But it should involve your intuition. Your intuition always knows what's up and what's right. Okay, but let's get back into the actual side hustle part of this. Like when you're a working mom trying to do your full time paying job and then start your second full time job when you get home or stop working. And also now dedicate some time and energy toward building your side hustle. Like just saying this out loud can sound overwhelming in itself. Those first two things can be so demanding alone. Like, how do you even find the time or energy to focus on something else? The questions are probably rolling through your head right now, and I bet I can guess them. When will I fit this in? How will I make this work? Why would I want to do this? I'm already so busy. Or why couldn't I make this work? Other people do. What am I even thinking? So, if you haven't started your side hustle yet, you might be questioning if this is something you even want to do because heading into this new space can feel daunting, and your brain, as it always does, will convince you it's not a good idea and try to keep you safe. Safe and cozy in your predictable 9 to 5 with your predictable salary and predictable commute and predictable paid time off. And if you're already knee deep in your side hustle, you may be questioning more about how this is sustainable, if this is even worth it, and when you can leave your full time job and why you even chose to do this. And I just want to say these are all totally normal thoughts. And most entrepreneurs will tell you the daily emotional roller coaster is so real. Passionate entrepreneurs question their sanity daily. They question their expertise daily. They question their qualifications daily. They even question their purpose daily. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. And it is not for people who don't like being uncomfortable on a regular basis. It is also, though, for people who don't take no for an answer. It's for people who enjoy a challenge. It's for people who wouldn't care if they made no money doing what they do, as long as they could do it forever and be provided for financially, maybe in another way, if that makes sense. Basically, if money were not even an issue, would you still do this? So, the first thing about working a side hustle while you're a working mom is you really need to be happy doing it. Like, even if it doesn't initially make you any money, because chances are it won't early on, that doesn't mean making money on your side hustle can't be done while you're working full time. It absolutely can. But to me, the investments I chose to make early on in my business always exceeded my profits because I was super focused on the bigger picture down the line. So, for example, working with coaches, investing in learning opportunities, creating my office space with the equipment I needed, hiring out designers and editors to help me publish my books. Those were all expenses I needed to invest in to get down the line. And by the way, many businesses are not profitable early on. So if you feel any tinge of disappointment, if you're not making money in the beginning, don't. You are in the majority and you are in good company here. The next thing I'll share about managing your side hustle while you're momming and working full time is despite the busyness in your life right now, you need to find a system or a way to stay consistent in your business if you're serious about seeing it grow and ultimately become the breadwinner in your side hustle, main hustle relationship. And the absolute best way for that to happen is to stay consistent. When I first started my business, I was focused on creating free content that would grow my audience and build trust with them. I did via my blog. I created a schedule for 6 months and settled on posting new content every 2 weeks, which would also include a newsletter to my email list and social posts to help boost subscribers and visibility. Front loading ideas for posts and mapping this out helped me not only feel less overwhelmed when I had busy work weeks and focusing on the business seemed really, really hard. I already had a good part of the work done. When things would come up in my life or I'd see trends on social that I felt called to write about, I would just shift the schedule around, no big deal. This also felt more authentic to me, so I could really share in almost real time what I was facing in my working mom life, which is the crux of my business. Consistency on social media was also something I committed to. I mapped out a strategy that, by the way, changed a number of times as everything is trial and error when you're learning the ropes, and committed to posting a certain number of times per week. I started my Instagram with something called Mom Jam Monday, where every Monday I'd post about a fun song that I used to love listening to in my pre mom days. On other days, I'd post quotes, on other days, photos. Honestly, if that feels too rigid for you, don't do it. For me, it felt more organized and sane and allowed me to front load content when I knew I had really busy weeks ahead. It alleviated some of the stress and being able to show up, but also to keep showing up, you know? So, whatever system works for you, whether that be dedicating X number of minutes per day to show up for your people online, or via free content, or planning ahead and doing it in advance so it drips out when you need it to, just ensuring you're staying consistent in how you're showing up for your people is really, really important. Inconsistency is a surefire way to lose trust in your customers because they never know if you're going to show up or not. Inconsistency for yourself is also a way to let everything else get in the way of something really important to you. So, as a mom, it can feel really hard to fit in working on your business because oftentimes the business is extra. The business isn't currently paying the bills. The business feels too fun to be work, or the business is never a top priority. But training yourself to show up consistently for your business is crucial. When you treat the business seriously and with respect, it gives it right back to you. If you treat it like a flaky friend, guess what? She's going to flake out on you too when you need her. Be nice to her and make her a priority if you're serious about watching her grow. Nurture her, feed her, keep her clean and organized, invest in her. The return will come, but you will need to put in the work first. Now, what about the time? Like, how do you actually make time for your side hustle when you're already busy AF? Well, if you know me, you know this is where my heart starts to race and I get a little bit overly excited because this is exactly what I specialize in. I help busy moms find the time they need to do the things they want. And if growing your side hustle is what you want, girl, you are listening to the right episode and the universe has brought us together. Yes, I totally believe in that divine intervention. If you are listening right now, it is because you were meant to hear this. And I am 1000% here for it. Okay, so as far as time goes, there are a few basic things I'm going to share with you today on this episode because you need to start here. Now, they are super simple and super easy to implement, but your head and your heart need to be in it to win it. Because if those two things are not here for it, you may as well just turn this episode off right now. Like, I don't want to rain on your parade, but running a side hustle as a busy AF mom requires some serious passion and some serious strategy. And if you don't have those, you are wasting your time. So if you feel like this is you, great. And if you don't, ask yourself what is holding you back from that? Is it that your business isn't the right one? Like doing it isn't feeding your soul? Or is it because you're stuck in your ways of how you're doing things and you aren't open to change and growth there? I doubt that is the case because you probably wouldn't be listening to this. But if it is, I challenge you to stop. Take a breath and really open up your mind to new and different approaches. I am living proof this can be done and done well and done with ease and done without feeling like you are burning the candle at both ends. It can be done in the right head and heart space. So, when it comes to time and ensuring you have it so you can do all the things, we're going to be chatting about a couple basic ideas today. And if this resonates with you, I highly encourage you to consider joining us in the Time Management 4-week program, where we dive in so much deeper into these time management strategies, mindset shifts, and concepts so we can essentially live our best freaking lives. We restructure our lives and schedules so we no longer feel stressed and we end up obsessed with how we're living it. This program is done in community with women just like you who are looking to level up how they're managing their time so they can pursue things that make them happy, so they can feel less overwhelmed, so they can live their best lives. I'm going to drop a link to this program in the show notes. But since we are airing this on August 11th, and it feels very timely for me to tell you, I want to ensure you know our next session starts August 23rd in just 12 days. There are limited seats in this program because I honestly want each and every participant to feel like a VIP. Like they have space to speak up and share, like they have access to me during that time, like there is accountability there they need to report back on. I want every mama in this program to feel like they are getting their money's worth times 100. Like it is my mission for everyone who works with me to feel like their investment was worth every penny and then some. Okay, so back to these concepts though, when it comes to your time and your side hustle. How do you make time for it all? How do you do this without the stress, the guilt, the overwhelm? Well, one way is you stop saying, I don't have time. You just stop saying that and you start replacing it with, it's not a priority to me. So let's try it. Let's try this. I don't have time for my business versus my business is not a priority to me. Oh, yikes. That is not what I think you feel when you think about your business, right? I mean, I imagine your business is a priority to you. So when you start reframing this, you bet your ass you're going to start finding ways to make it a priority in your life. You're going to watch a little less Netflix. You're going to multitask your train rides to work doing business stuff. You're going to network during your lunch breaks. Maybe you're going to wake up early on Saturday mornings to have some quiet, uninterrupted time to strategize or build your next product or service. This reframe is essential so you can ensure you are making your side hustle a priority in your daily life. Now, does this mean that there are going to be days where shit hits the fan and you get slammed at work, or your kids get sick and throw the whole schedule off, or your childcare fails? Yes, of course, these things will happen, and of course, you will give yourself grace on those days. I'm just saying, for the most part, your daily habits, your normal routine, doesn't include a laundry list of excuses why you're not prioritizing your side hustle. By the way, I feel the need to quickly pause here because, yes, it is a side hustle, but calling it a side hustle while speaking about it, like, makes it feel like it shouldn't be a top priority. It kind of feels oxymoronish to me, very contradictory. So let's just call it your business from now on, which brings me to my next point when it comes to time and your business, which is this: know what to multitask and what not to multitask. There are many experts out there who say you shouldn't multitask anything. And I totally understand where these people are coming from. I mean, I get it. And they're very successful. So they clearly know what they're talking about. You know, multitasking is not the best way to manage getting more done. In fact, it often makes you feel more frazzled, drop the ball in places you could have easily held it up, and often creates overwhelm in places where overwhelm just doesn't need to be. But the bottom line is, as successful as a lot of these experts are, they're not as busy as you. They're not a busy AF mom managing a full-time job, a house, a family, and a business, right? I mean, essentially, they've reached a level of success where they have a different scenario compared to what you might be dealing with right now. So, multitasking in your life and mine is going to happen because I'm a regular mom just like you. I have 4 kids, ages 7 and under. Up until recently, I had a full-time job. I'm married. I'm the momager at home, all those things. So, the important thing to remember when it comes to multitasking is this: you shouldn't try to multitask everything. One more time for the people in the back. You shouldn't try to multitask everything. Remember that. Multitasking is okay in my book if you're doing it properly. So here is my mantra when it comes to multitasking. Are you ready? Here it is. Multitask the mindless, solo task the mindful. Let me repeat that one more time. Multitask the mindless, solo task the mindful. What does that mean? Well, multitask things you can basically do on autopilot. Things that don't require a ton of brain power, things that if you didn't do meticulously, you might not care that much. And solo task the things that are important to you, the things that you care deeply about, the things that would require a whole lot of fixing if you mess them up. For example, multitask folding laundry or washing dishes or commuting if you're not driving, of course, with something you enjoy or something you can listen to or DMing potential clients. Solo task having dinner with your family, creating content that requires thoughtfulness and concentration, anything that is important to you, that you want to be fully present for, that you care deeply about. Start with these 2 ways to really prioritize and maximize how you're spending your time while you're building your biz and working and momming and all the things. Now, like I said, I have lots more goodness and tips and tricks and mindset shifts to share with you, and I would absolutely love to have you be part of our time management program that begins Monday, August 23rd. This is an incredible opportunity to get a handle on how you're using your time with intention and gain lots of clarity on your goals and visions so you can get closer to living your absolute best life as a working mom and hopefully as a mompreneur. If you are serious about wanting to level up how you're managing your time and living your life, I will see you there, Mama. You've been listening to the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and would love if you could take a quick minute to leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening from, and maybe even send a note to a fellow mama friend recommending it. Reviews and recs help this podcast grow and reach more like-minded, awesome moms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click that button so we can stay in touch, girl. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mama Work It website, please do. There are lots of free resources and great articles there that can help you with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So head on over. Thanks again for being part of the tribe. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, keep on working it, Mama.